Hello, on today's lesson we will solve a few more examples in which we will write the polynomial as a product. I will write down an example in which the first term will be a negative number, minus CD plus 2C. Using this example, I want to show you how to work with a polynomial with terms with different signs. What needs to be done for this? Obviously, in this example, the common factor is the variable c. But with which sign should it be written? The thing is, you can write the positive factor c, and then we have taken out c. We are left with minus d plus 2. In this example, I am drawing your attention to how to factor out a common factor if these common factors have different signs. You can factor out the positive, but then as a result, one of the terms will be negative. I have taken out c, so I am left with minus d. Here I have taken out c. 2 remains. For convenience, you can cross out the factors you are factoring out. In the bracket, we have minus d plus 2. If I write out the negative factor, minus c, then I have taken out minus c, and I am left with d in the bracket. So, what should you do with the second term if there is a plus there? Remember the rule and apply it. If you factor out a negative, you are left with minus 2. You can check the correctness of your answer by performing the reverse operation. That is, in our case, minus c multiplied by d will be minus cd, and then minus. C multiplied by minus 2 gives plus 2c. We will check the answer in the first example in the same way. C multiplied by minus d is minus cd. C multiplied by 2 is 2c. Please take a very close look at our answers here. Now, at first glance, the answers seem quite different. But the crucial thing to remember is that when you write the expression out as a polynomial, you will actually find that you end up with the same answer. Another example. If we need to express the following polynomial as a product, minus 2ab minus 3. And when the signs are the same, in this case, you factor out with a single sign. If you have 2 plus signs, then you factor out a positive factor. If there are 2 minus signs, you can proceed in 2 ways. In our example, we see that the common factor is a. Therefore, I can write the common factor a. Then, inside the brackets, the polynomial remains. We've taken out a, so we're left with minus 2, b minus 3. But you can write the factor as minus a, in which case inside the brackets you'll have 2b plus 3. And in this example, by applying both methods, we've got 2 answers that at first glance seem different. But if you perform the reverse operation once more and check whether you've written the signs correctly, what do you get? As a result, you'll end up with the original factor. And here's another example. Let's write down 1, 2, 3, 4. 15 c cubed 5c squared m plus 20 cm squared. In order to determine the common factor, you need to break down each term so that there is a common factor. How do you do this? Notice that 15 is 5 times 3. Let's expand c cubed. That's c multiplied by c and multiplied by c. Let's move on to the second term. 5. 5 is only 5 multiplied by 1. To the second power, it is c multiplied by c and multiplied by m, plus 20. 20 is 2 times 10, but then we won't find it, a common factor. Because in the first terms, the common factor is 5, and if we write 20 as 2 times 10, then we won't see it. So for 20, let's write it as 2 times 10. But in the first two terms, there is a common factor of 5. So I'll write 20 as 4 times 5, because in this case, I'll have a common factor of 5. So I write 20 as 4 times 5 times c times m and times m. And now we can find the common factor. Of course, it's the number 5 and this factor c. Then I write 5c. So what I have left is 5c. I've taken that out, and what's left is 3c squared. I've taken out 5c, so what's left is minus cm. Plus, I've taken out 5c, so what's left is 4m squared. And that will be the answer. But, as you can see, we were expanding a variable that was written to a certain power. C cubed, we wrote c times c times c. C to the second power is like c multiplied by c, in order to find this common multiplier. But this is not a very convenient way. Please note that of the 3 terms, I chose the variable to the least extent. In the first term of c cubed, in the second term of c squared, in the third term of c, the common multiplier of c is chosen by the smallest multiplier. If we are choosing a common factor for numerical expressions, then for variables we select the lowest power. And then you'll get the correct answer. In the next lesson, we'll solve a few more examples. And that's all for today's lesson. Goodbye until next time.